Dan Hooker is out of his co-main event at UFC 313 against Justin Gaethje, meaning we need to find a replacement, and we already have three contenders that have put their name in the hat. We're gonna look at each of their call-outs. We're gonna talk about how how much the fight makes sense, how the fight would go, stuff like that. So that interests you, stick around. Without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off with Rafael Fiziev, he posted this video to X. I got allergies. I apologize. Uh, he posted this to X. The little gift here. Obviously, they fought before at. Pretty sure it says it on here. They fought at UFC 286 right there. Majority decision win for Justin Gaethje. They have that chemistry, or they have the first fight, and the problem is that he is on a losing streak. You look at the next name, Matthias Gamrot, saying, Hooker out, I'm ready to go. Justin Gaethje 2 weeks, no matter. My fight with Hooker was very close, and he got lucky with the judges, trying to fix and improve, and then um, at Justin Gaethje, UFC, ESPN, all that stuff. So let's go to the rankings. Let's look at each fighter and see how much sense it makes. So going off of the rankings, the closest one is Gamrot. You look at him, like you said, coming off of a very close fight against Dan Hooker, beating Rafael dos Anjos, beat Rafael Fiziev, beat Jalen Turner, and lost to Darius and Gamrot. So he's been able to beat these guys around top 15, around the top 10, but when it comes to the elite of the elite, he struggles. I don't see him getting. I could see him getting this fight, but then we move on to Renato Moicano would be the next one. This to me makes the most sense. He's turned himself into a big star, stepped in short notice against Islam at UFC 311. Before that was on a 5 fight win streak, losing to a RDA legend. So in his last, what would that be, 7 fights, he's only lost to legends of the sport. So, spoiling that one. But looking at these names, um, Rafael Fiziev again, like I said, that makes no sense to me currently. Gamrot would be my second choice, but Moicano makes a lot of sense. He wants to get in there. A win over Gaethje would be massive. The most, um, it sells the most tickets, and I feel like there will be possibly even more hype around this fight than the Dan Hooker fight, which did have a lot of hype under it. Um, so yeah, my thoughts would be Moicano first option, Gamrot second, third, Fiziev. So hopefully, I would love to see Moicano Gaethje with an insane bounce back win for Renato Moicano, working his way to get back to the title. Now I want to move over for the last bit of this video, talk about this fight and really the short-lived rise of Benoit Saint Denis. As you can see, it's being rumored I'm not sure if this is fully confirmed. It's not on the pay per view officially yet, but Benoit Saint Denis versus Joel Alvarez is being rumored for Montreal UFC 315. Getting a French guy in Montreal makes sense, but this is a big step down in competition for him, right? So when you look at his last few fights, lost to Renato Moicano due to an eye injury, Dr. Stoppage before that, had a grappling match with Mark Kakashi, won by unanimous decision. Got knocked out at UFC 299 against Dustin Poirier. Um, you know, he did have his moments in this fight, but kind of like I said earlier, he had the chance against two veterans, and he failed before that. Matt Favola, round one, TKO. Thiago Moises, round two, TKO. Round one submission. He had a really good rise. But again, like I said, I don't see them throwing, like, I don't see him getting another push like he did. Now, we could see him, come in, demolish Yoel Alvarez. But Yoel Alvarez is really good himself. Let's look at uh, Yoel Alvarez. Anyway, so looking at Yoel Alvarez, beat Jakar Close, beat Elvis Brenner, beat Mark DeCassi, lost to Armand Sarukian, not a bad loss. Diego Moises, Alexander Yukov, Joe Duffy, uh, Daniel Bolardo. He lost his debut against Demir Ismagulov, and then before that, only lost to Ali Abdul Halikov. Had a really good run before the UFC is currently on a pretty good run now. I kind of see this as an attempt to push Benoit Saint Denis out of the rankings. And it's kind of sad because, you know, to get a Dustin Poirier fight like he did, that is a major stepping stone. If you're able to, um, climb that accolade early on in your career, because I do think, see, I won't even bring it up here. I do think Benoit Saint Denis is fairly young. Let's see here. Ben Benoit Saint Denis. Oh, sorry. Um, God, I hate allergies. So Benoit Saint Denis, he is fucking. I hate this, dude. My fucking head has felt like it's been in a fistful for like a good week because of being on a plane, my ears popping and all that. He is 29, so he is young, but to get the kind of push I hated to face a Dustin Poirier, like I said, that's a major stepping stone. That shows that they want you, like they're looking at you as a guy that can come in, climb the ranks fast. But you failed that, that test, and it's not a bad loss, Dustin Poirier. one of the greatest lightweights of all time, Hall of Famer no matter what. Um, but I don't see him giving. I don't see how the UFC could again give him that big of a push. I feel like in order for him to get back to the title, he'll be one of these guys that will need to put together probably a 4 or 5 fight win streak, not the um, not kind of the push that he did after three. Like, oh no, I don't mean to get back to the title. I mean to get back to like a title eliminator. Like to me, it's I find in the UFC there there are certain guys that will get a major push no matter what. Usually it's guys who hopefully go on to get the belt, but you have these younger guys that the UFC doesn't give enough time to develop properly. Like Darren Till comes to mind as one of those guys who I feel like had he had a few more fights before time on roadway, it would have been a closer fight. I kind of feel the same thing with Benoit Saint Denis taking on Dustin Poirier. It was just a major bump in competition for him that he probably could have done better and with, a a fight with, you know, one of the guys right outside the top five. Um, I have to pull up the rankings yet again. I know they're not the same, but like for me, I would have before a Dustin Poirier. I feel like a Gamrot, ironically enough, would have been the better test. Uh, yeah, a guy like that who is just outside of being there. A guy 6 from 10. But I'm kind of saying the same thing over. I acknowledge that. Well, you know what I mean. It's just it's sad to see all these guys to the UFC get behind and give too big of a test before they're ready. Um, I would love to see Benoit Saint Denis bounce back, go on a win streak, work his way up to the top of the lightweight division. The lightweight division again is it is aging. Um, Benoit Saint Denis definitely has a few years on his side compared to many older Hughes, Bernard Moicano, Michael Chandler, who's still up there, um, even though he shouldn't be. Big star, but again, set out 2 years. So, you know, it goes back to giving a guy the right path, not pushing him too quickly. And to me, the Dustin Poirier fight was them kind of hedging their bet that Dustin Poirier was done. That was that was kind of my look on the Benoit Saint Denis because he was coming off of the knockout loss to Justin Gaethje, but like we said, was able to knock out Benoit Saint Denis, and it shouldn't be at the fault of Benoit Saint Denis that you know having that loss, then having a loss against Renato Moicano, who was on a 3 fight win streak, went on to fight for the belt on short notice. I don't want to see Benoit Saint Denis get. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Um, but yeah, it'll be an interesting week and a half or however much longer we got here. I don't see them pushing Gaethje off the card. They need Gaethje in the co-main event because apart from that, not many big names. Well, let me know in the comments down below. Out of all these names, who would you pick and why? Interested to hear what you have to say. Yeah, later.